Have you ever explained to interviewees or design reviewers why can't they just start typing in your Figma prototype? It's very hard to quickly validate design concepts when even such basic elements like text fields are missing in Figma. It disrupts from getting real insights. So I have prepared the template earlier that helps to avoid such technical limitations, but today I'm going to show you how to create this simple element from scratch in Figma using variables. There is no need to learn anything about variables before starting watching this video. This is going to be a very simple tutorial where I'll show you how to create all these text fields from scratch. And furthermore, I will show you how to add labels there so that you can tag someone or something and display any elements just using your keyboard. First of all, we need to create a text field component. To do that, we need to add a placeholder here, and then we need to apply an auto layout. Let's add one label. Ready. So for this component, we need to create 3 different states. The first one is going to be default. Usually default states are gray. The next one is going to be an active state. Let's make it blue. And the last one has value. So let's create the component set. And rename the state to the default, active, and has value. And today I would like to create 2 different types of text fields to demonstrate you the difference. So the first one will be text. And the second one will be number, so that you will see how to customize that. And let's rename for our convenience this as well. Number, and let's say 1, 2, 3. Should be a placeholder. And here we can add, for example, add your text here. Ready. So also what I would like to do, I would like to add also a cursor component for the active state. It looks usually like this. We have to duplicate it and to create a new component state. This can be just transparent. And we can also apply here an interaction so that it will be blinking after delay. Let's put here 600s, instant. And to do the same for the last one. After delay, 600. And let's move it to our component. And change the distance. Okay, after doing this, we need to add local variables to our component system. And let's start adding the first one. Let's select the text. And all we need to do to add the text value. It doesn't really matter what should be here. But for the convenience, we can add the same placeholder. For example, add your text here. And same for the second component type. Number value. And this could be 1, 2, 3. Ready. So why do we need this? Because we are going to add variables to the text area. And we're going to replace this placeholder as well for the number value. So why do we need this? Because whatever we're going to type here, these changes are going to be reflected into the variable setting. The second part, what we need to do, we need to add interactions to our components. Let's start with on click. We have to change the state to an active one, and the same for the variable with the state. So on click, active instant. Okay, looks good. And another change that must happen here, we also have to add the second interaction to this type by clicking add action and then set variable. And in this case, since we're working with the text value, we have to change the text value to space, so that on click it's going to reset the text value variable. And we have to do the same for the second input with number. Number value, value to space. So let's see how it works. Let's create a frame that we're going to preview and to put our component here. Let's click quickly the preview. As you can see, it changes. And another interaction that we need to add is whenever we press enter, let's select key gamepad. It should change to the has value variable. One click, key gamepad, and we press enter so that it applies the change. So as you can see, I click here, press enter, and it changes its state. So the most important part is when we actually type something here, then all the changes with symbols needs to be reflected in the variable setting. Let's maybe start with the number because it's the easiest one. So for the numbers, we have to do exactly the same what we have done with the enter. We have to go to the interaction section and to add new interactions, selecting trigger by key gamepad. And then we add, let's start with number 1. And then we select an action set variable, select our variable that is applied to the number section, number value. And here it is important to select the number value because everything what is already here will be added to the variable. So in this case, we add number 1 to the existing set of numbers. Otherwise, whenever we are going to add a new symbol, it's going to be replaced. We don't want this. We want users to type arbitrary number of symbols. So to do that, we applied the number value here. And then, unfortunately, there is no duplication feature where we could just duplicate this one. So we have to do the same from scratch for every single symbol we want to add here. So let's do the same for the rest. The next important thing is how we're going to remove symbols from the text field. We have to add another interaction, which is also very important. So we select key gamepad again, press backspace, add set variable, number value, and here we shouldn't select anything here. We just need to add this, so that is going to like remove all the symbols from here. Unfortunately, since it's not really real Figma feature, we are creating such not elegant solutions, and let's see how it works. So we're typing here an arbitrary number of symbols, and then we just simply click backspace and it removes everything from here. So this was the manual way to add all these typing interactions. And also what I highly recommend to do is to find my template that I created earlier. And here, what is simpler to do is just select all the interaction that I have added, and then to press Command C and simply duplicate them all to your file. If you want to remove something or to add, you can simply do it here, but it's just way faster. Let me show you. So whenever you're duplicating variable settings from external file, you will see here that the value is missing here. So we've got the whole interactions. All we need to do is just create text value, and it's done. The same for the rest. We're always selecting text value, and we need to repeat this for every single interaction. I have finished editing the variables here. So as you can see, text value is applied to every single interaction, and let's see how it works. So we see it works, and I'm eligible to add numbers. So the problem here is that, as you can see, two text inputs are active at the same time, and it's very inconvenient, especially if I want to click somewhere else. There are just a lot of issues with this. In this case, you need to press enter and then enter again. And I can show you how to fix this easily. In order to fix that, we have to go to local variables again and create new variables. We can leave them empty by adding space. And now we have to apply this variable to the state. So in this case, it's text, and this one is number. And how it works, in order to modify and make it work with click, we need to add a new condition. So we are saying if text input equal to active, then set variable number input to has value. And let's do the same if text input equal to active, then set variable number input to has value. Let's do the same conditional if number input equal to active, set variable text input to has value. Let's do the same if number input equal to active action set variable text input to has value. So we are typing something, then we type something here. Yes, and as you can see, we can easily switch between these inputs Great. So in case of having more text inputs, you either need to add more conditions here. For example, if number input or whatever is active, then set the actual one. And another cool feature that I was going to show you is how you can actually add chips and labels to the text field. We need to create, first of all, the component for it. So basically we need two text fields with add and name that we could add here. We can also add a field, for example, a gray one. We can make it round, add paddings. And to change the distance a little bit, here we can make it a little bit more grayish, same as this one. Okay, so this is going to be an empty state, and let's say here we want to select an actual name. For this we need to add a local variable, and we have to create a new one. Let's call it name. And here we can apply a variable. And then we have to create a component set for the name label. Let's call it empty. This one has value. And here we need to apply our name variable. Let's actually rename this to the empty, and this is to an active, since it would be a little bit more logical. So in this case, we have to change a little bit the empty state because it shouldn't be visible. We remove the fill, everything, and set it to 0 pixels. And the active one should also include some values from the drop-down menu. Let's start typing name, for example, Anna. We add a fill for our drop-down menu. Another one can be Kate and Lisa. Then we can clip the component, make it a little bit fancier. Ready. How we can add interactions to this? We can say that by clicking, we should set the variable name to and the same for the rest. And when this one is active, that should pop up with the component. Here we, for example, can type an interaction if we're in this state and we press backspace. We can apply an action change to empty. We also need to create another local variable, create string, name label. This should be empty. Then we have to duplicate this to our text field. This can be, let's fix the height. It should be either before or after the text. Let's make it after. to do the same, apply the same distance. And we need to apply to the name label, the name label variable. Because we want to change the state by clicking this, or we actually, let's try to make on click. We also change the state to has value. Change the state has value. And the most important is how we are going to trigger this. So in our text input, we have to find the trigger at, where the symbol is shift2, and in this case, we have to set a variable to change its setting to name label. And we have to add active. Okay, let's try how it works. Let's reset, type something, and okay, let's apply some shadow here. Then we select Anna, and let's make it a little bit darker. I think we have to also change the distance slightly, because now it's 0. Maybe it can be 2, since it looks better. Here we also can change slightly the interaction. When we click on this, we have to change this to active again, so that let's apply the variable here as well. We have to add the name, but by default, then we have to go to local variables and to change this default value to name. Anna, Kate, Lisa. And here, backspace when it's selected. Here, by the way, we can also apply changes to the state. And we can add, for example, on press key, backspace, change to empty. Might be a little bit confusing for users, but it depends on the tasks that you have to perform in your prototype, because it really depends what you want to achieve and if you're ready to explain something to users or not. I just wanted to show you that you can trigger any element using this typing feature. That was one of the most important. For example, we can say that how people can use the message function. It could be hello, Kate. So thank you for watching this video. I've shown you everything I know about this, and I know it's overwhelming. It took me some time to learn this on my own from scratch. So I hope this was helpful for you. Thank you very much, and see you in next videos.